My fiancée asked for a break to get back with her cheating ex. I canceled our wedding, sold the house, and moved on. Now she's back begging, but it's too late. And what she found left her broken. I'm 30 years old, I work in marketing, and a few months ago my life fell apart in a way that I still have trouble processing. Lauren and I had been together for 4 years. We were engaged, planning the wedding and all that, and then she told me she wanted a break to try to get back together with her ex. Yeah, you read that right. Her ex. The same guy who cheated on her in college. And the worst part of it all is that she said it like it was the most normal thing in the world. Like I was simply a plan B that she could put on pause while she figured out if she really wanted to be with me or not. But let me start from the beginning, because I think it's important to understand how we got there. I met Lauren like 5 years ago, more or less, at one of those boring networking events where everyone pretends to be super interested in what everyone else does, but really, they just want to hand out business cards. She was a freelance graphic designer. I worked in marketing for a medium-sized company, and we clicked right away. It wasn't love at first sight or anything like that, but there was chemistry, We started dating casually, then more seriously, and before I knew it, we'd been together for a year, and she was practically living at my place. The first 3 years were good, honestly. We had our fights like any couple, but nothing serious. She met my family. I met hers. We spent Christmases together. That kind of thing. My best friend, Chris, who I've known since college, always said we were the most stable couple he knew. And I believed him. Lauren was smart, funny, ambitious with her work, and I thought we had found something real, something worth it. I proposed to her like a year and a half ago. Nothing extravagant, honestly, just a dinner at her favorite restaurant and a ring that cost me 2 months' salary, but that she had been discreetly looking at on Pinterest for months. Yeah, I noticed. She cried, said yes, we called our families, posted the photos on Instagram with that generic caption. She said yes, and we started planning the wedding. We had set the date for September of the following year, so we had plenty of time to organize everything without stressing too much. The first few months after the engagement were great. Lauren was super excited about everything, creating Pinterest boards for every detail, researching venues, tasting cakes, choosing colors, all that stuff. I let her make most of the decisions because, honestly, I didn't care if the napkins were ivory or eggshell white, but I participated when she asked me to. Looking back, I should have seen it coming when her enthusiasm started to fade. It was gradual, It wasn't like overnight she stopped caring. She just stopped mentioning the wedding as much, stopped showing me pictures of dresses, stopped updating our budget spreadsheet. I thought maybe she was just stressed with work. She had landed a big project with a corporate client and was working late almost every night. I didn't think much of it. Like, couples go through phases, right? Sometimes you're super focused on something and other things take a back seat. It's normal. Or so I thought. Things really started getting weird like 3 months ago. We were at a get-together with friends, one of those board game and wine nights where someone inevitably pulls out a game with uncomfortable questions. You know the type. Those questions like, if you could relive 1 year of your life, which would it be? Or who would you take to a desert island? Pure nonsense, basically, but people take them seriously when they're half drunk. Lauren got a question that was something like, if you could relive a past relationship knowing what you know now, which would it be and why? And she, without hesitating for a second, said Jason. Her college ex. The same guy who had cheated on her with 2 different girls during the last year they were together. She said it in front of everyone, in front of me, like it was nothing. And then she laughed and said something like, obviously, it's just a game. It doesn't mean anything. But I saw something in her eyes, Like she had thought about it before. Like it wasn't just a random answer for the game. My friends went quiet for an awkward moment. Chris looked at me like, are you okay, man? And then someone quickly changed the subject and we kept playing. I laughed too, pretended it didn't bother me, but inside I was falling off a cliff. That night, when we got home, I tried to bring up the subject casually. I said something like, hey, the Jason thing in the game was kinda random, right? And she got defensive immediately. That it was just a game. That I was overreacting. That Jason was part of her past and didn't mean anything. That she loved me, not him. I wanted to believe her, so I dropped it there. But the following weeks were strange. Lauren started being on her phone more than usual, smiling at messages she didn't show me. When I asked her what was up, she'd say it was work or that she was talking to a friend. I tried not to be jealous, not to be controlling, because I hate that dynamic in relationships, but something didn't add up. And then, like 3 weeks after game night, Lauren came home on a Friday after work and told me we needed to talk. You know that when someone says, "We need to talk," it's never anything good. We sat down in the living room, her on one couch and me on the other, and I was thinking maybe she was going to say she wanted to postpone the wedding or that she was stressed about something. But no. What she told me was that she had been thinking a lot about us, about her life, about what she really wanted. And then she dropped the bomb. She told me that Jason, her ex, had reached out to her like a month ago, that they had been talking, and that he had told her he made a mistake when he cheated on her, that he had never stopped loving her, that he had matured and changed. I just sat there processing all this while she kept talking. She told me she hadn't planned for this to happen, that she didn't expect to feel something when Jason wrote to her, but that she did, and she couldn't ignore it. And then, and this is the part that still makes my blood boil when I think about it, she asked me if we could take a break. A break. Like our 4-year relationship and our engagement were something you could put on pause like a Netflix series while she figured out if she wanted to get back together with the guy who had betrayed her. She explained to me, with a calmness that I found insulting, that she didn't necessarily want to break up with me. She just wanted time and space to explore her feelings for Jason without the pressure of our relationship. That if things didn't work out with him, we could pick up where we left off. That she loved me but needed to be sure she wasn't passing up something important. Basically, she was telling me I was her plan B, her backup option, in case her college sweetheart turned out to still be an idiot. But the truth is that in that moment, I felt so many things at the same time, I could barely think. I was angry, hurt, confused, humiliated. But also, and this is weird, I felt like this strange clarity. Like, there I was, sitting across from the woman I was going to marry, and she was openly telling me she'd rather risk everything with me for the chance to be with someone else. And I thought, if this is what she really wants, if she's really willing to throw 4 years out the window for a guy who cheated on her multiple times, then maybe I didn't know her as well as I thought. I didn't yell, didn't cry, didn't beg her to stay. I simply told her, "Okay, if that's what you want, go ahead. Take your break." But let it be clear that I wasn't going to wait for her like a faithful dog while she decided if I was good enough or not. I told her she could leave, that she should take her things and go to her mom's house or wherever she wanted to be, but not to come back expecting everything to stay the same. Lauren looked surprised. I think she expected me to fight harder for her or to beg her to stay. She asked me if I was sure, if I didn't want to think about it better, and I just repeated the same thing. Leave. She started crying, saying she loved me and didn't want to hurt me, and I literally couldn't take the irony of that statement anymore. If you really loved me, I told her, you wouldn't be doing this. That night, she packed some things and left. Not to her mom's house, I found out later, but straight to a hotel to meet Jason. But I learned that afterwards. I called Chris that same night, like at 11, and told him everything. He wanted to come over immediately, but I told him I was fine, that I just needed to talk. We were on the phone for like 2 hours, him basically telling me that Lauren was crazy, that I deserved better, that this was the best thing that could happen even if it didn't feel like it at the moment. The truth is, I didn't know what to feel. On one hand, I was devastated because I had just lost what I thought was my future, but on the other hand, I was almost relieved, you know? Like, I finally had a clear answer to that weird feeling I'd had. The last few weeks, Lauren texted me like 2 days later, asking if we could talk. I told her yes, thinking that maybe she was going to say she had made a mistake, that she wanted to come back. We met at a coffee shop near the house, neutral territory. She arrived late, obviously, and looked tired but also like nervous. She told me she had been thinking a lot, and that she thought we should put the wedding on hold temporarily, just until she had more clarity about her feelings. and that's when I really got pissed off. Although I tried not to show it much. Not only was she asking me to wait while she dated her ex, but she also wanted to keep the engagement as an open option. Like a reservation she could cancel if I found something better. I told her no, that I wasn't going to do that. That we weren't going to pretend we were still getting married while she explored other options. Lauren started crying again, saying I wasn't understanding, that she just needed time, that she wasn't saying she didn't love me. And I told her, if you really loved me, you wouldn't need time to decide. If after 4 years you're still not sure you want to be with me, then the answer is already clear. We left it there, her crying in the coffee shop and me walking out without looking back. That same afternoon, I started canceling everything. I called the wedding venue, the photographer, the DJ, the catering service. Some gave me back part of the deposit, others didn't. But honestly, I didn't care about the money at that moment. I just wanted to eliminate any trace of those plans that now seemed like a cruel joke. I sent an email to the guest list saying the wedding was canceled for personal reasons and that we appreciated their understanding. Short, simple, no drama. Then I started packing Lauren's things. Not in a vengeful way or anything, I just put them in boxes neatly. Her clothes, her bathroom products, her books, her design materials, everything. It took like 3 days because she had a ton of stuff scattered all over the house. While I was doing it, I realized how much space she had occupied in my life, literally and metaphorically. And I also realized something else. She had been living in my house without paying rent for 2 years. Not that I asked her to pay, but she never offered to contribute more than buying food once in a while. I decided then that I was going to sell the house. It was mine, from before I met her. I had bought it when I got my current job, but it was full of memories of us. Every room reminded me of something, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to move forward if I stayed there. I contacted a realtor. We put the house on the market, and surprisingly, I had an offer in less than 2 weeks. The market was good, and the house was in good condition. When Lauren came back like a week after our conversation at the coffee shop, ready to pick up more things and maybe try to talk again, she found all her belongings packed in boxes in the garage, and a for sale sign in the yard. The expression on her face was something I'll never forget, like pure shock. She asked me what I was doing, and I simply told her I was moving forward with my life, just as she had asked me to do when she wanted her break. She started saying that things with Jason weren't working out like she expected, that he was still the same immature guy he was before, that she had made a mistake, that she missed me, that she wanted us to try again. And I swear, almost laughed. I told her it was too late for that she had her chance to be with me, to build a life together, and that she chose to throw it all away for someone who had already shown her who he really was. She begged me, literally begged me to give her another chance, that it had all been a mistake, that she should never have asked me for the break, that she loved me, and that she knew we could get past this, but I had already made my decision. I told her she could take her things whenever she wanted, that I was going to leave them at her mom's house so she wouldn't have to see me again. And that was it. There was no yelling, no excessive drama, just a very clear conversation where I established my boundaries. I took all her boxes to her mom's house that weekend with a simple note that said, "Your belongings. Please don't contact me anymore." Her mom came out when I was unloading the last box and tried to talk to me, saying that Lauren was devastated and that maybe we should talk it over better. I explained to her respectfully that there was nothing to talk about, that her daughter had made her decision and I was making mine. That I wished her the best, but moving forward was the right thing for me. The house sold quickly and I found a small but decent apartment closer to my work. It wasn't as big as my previous house, but it was mine, just mine, without memories of Lauren in every corner. Chris helped me with the move, and honestly, it was like therapeutic, dismantling my old life and building a new one from scratch. I threw away a bunch of stuff I didn't need, bought new furniture, completely changed my decorating style. But obviously, Lauren couldn't leave it at that. Like 2 weeks after I moved, she started contacting friends and family with her version of the story. A version where I was the villain, where she had only asked for time to work on herself, and I overreacted by canceling everything and selling the house. She conveniently omitted the whole Jason part and that she had basically told me I was her second choice. My mom called me worried, saying he had talked to Lauren's mom and was hearing very different things from what I had told her. Even my boss, because Lauren knew some of my coworkers and apparently had been spreading her narrative there too. He asked me if everything was okay because he had heard I had gone through a difficult breakup. Lauren's version was that I was controlling, that I didn't let her have space, that I was cruel to cancel the wedding without giving her time to process her emotions. At that point, I decided I had to set the record straight once and for all. I sent a group message to my family and Lauren's family, explaining exactly what had happened. Not with excessive details or being cruel, just the basic facts. That Lauren had asked for a break to explore a relationship with her ex, that I agreed, but made it clear I wasn't going to wait, and that she was now regretful and trying to change the narrative. I even attached some screenshots of messages where she herself admitted the Jason thing, so there would be no confusion. The reaction was mixed. My family obviously supported me completely. Lauren's family was divided. Some thought I had been too harsh. Others understood my position. Some mutual friends took sides, although most stayed neutral or just walked away from all the drama. Olivia, a friend we had in common, wrote me saying she had seen Lauren's posts on social media and that they were pathetic, full of quotes about second chances and people who don't appreciate what they have. I blocked Lauren from all my social media and from my phone, not because I was immature, but because I needed to cut off contact completely to be able to move forward. But she apparently didn't get the message and started sending me emails, calling me from different numbers, even showed up at my work once. Ben, another friend who had been supporting me through all this, suggested I consider a restraining order if she kept harassing me. But fortunately, it never got to that point. The social media posts continued for a few weeks. Lauren posting quotes about forgiveness, about how people make mistakes, about how true love overcomes any obstacle. Mutual friends sent me screenshots, like to keep me aware that she was continuing her campaign to play the victim. I never responded publicly, never posted my version on social media. I just let her talk to herself. Eventually, when she realized she wasn't accomplishing anything, the posts stopped. I reported the harassment when it got really intense, not to the police but through social media platforms, and eventually she stopped trying to contact me. The drama gradually died down, as it does with everything. People found other things to talk about and my breakup with Lauren became old news. Chris mentioned to me like a month ago that he heard Lauren was dating someone new, not Jason, but another guy. And I honestly felt nothing when I heard it. No jealousy, no satisfaction, nothing. And that's when I knew I had really moved on. Now I'm living my life, focusing on my work, spending time with real friends, meeting new people without the pressure of looking for a serious relationship. I've been on a few casual dates, nothing serious yet, and that's okay. I'm not in a hurry. I learned that being alone is much better than being with someone who sees you as a backup option. I like my new apartment. It's small, but it's comfortable, and there are no ghosts of the past in every room. The weird thing is that sometimes I wonder what it would have been like if Lauren had never asked me for that break, if we had gone ahead with the wedding, if we had eventually had kids, built a life together. But then I remember that she was capable of considering throwing all that away for an ex who had cheated on her, and I realize it would have come out eventually anyway. Maybe not now, maybe in 5 years or 10, but that part of her that wasn't sure, that was always going to wonder what if, would have destroyed our marriage one way or another. Last week I saw Lauren from a distance at a mall. She didn't see me. She was with that new guy Chris had told me about. She looked good, happy even. And I just kept walking without feeling anything in particular. No hate, no sadness, no nostalgia, just indifference. And that, I guess, is the best sign that I really got over everything. My life now doesn't look anything like what I thought it would be a year ago, but it's mine, completely mine, and that's enough for now.